What's going on, people? It's your boy Cal Wu, and welcome back to another episode of Getting to Know Cal Wu and my journey through anime. What up, though, to my people in Detroit? As always, we are here. Appreciate y'all stopping through and rocking with me and learning about my journey through anime. For this episode, we're gonna go from 2013 to 2015, and the reason we're gonna stop here because 2015 is very important. It is the culmination of Planet Wu. It's when Planet Wu was invented and started. So we're going to start this off as always. Start from 2013 and kind of ramp up talking about the different anime. So around this time we were watching Amnesia, Attack on Titan, which was great. And people are now vaunting that as one of the greatest animes to ever be made. Double as a Part-Timer, which is amazing and funny. Data Live, Danganronpa, which is vaunted as one of the greatest to the death animes. Free, which is my resurgence back into sports anime. Blood Lad, Gotchaman Crowds, which is an anime that G Money really tried to push me to watch, and I was kind of apprehensive, but he was like, "Yo, you like G-Force, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "The G stands for Gotchaman. This anime is great. You should watch it." So I watched it, and I agree with him. This anime was great. It's literally the villain side of the whole Gotchaman universe or series. Rose and Maiden, which gave the feel of Zatch Bell. That was pretty dope. Kill la Kill and Akame Got Killed came around the same time, and people loved both of them. I've even ran into people that confused one for the other. They have some similarities, but they're definitely completely different. Beyond the Boundary is an anime that G Money. It's probably one of the first anime that G Money suggested to me, and was kind of like, "Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna fuck with this, Cal. I don't know if you're gonna like it like that, but I think you should check it out." And he kind of gave me his reasons why, and I checked it out, and I really enjoyed it. But I understood why he thought I might not, but I was fucking with it. I liked it. Log Horizon, which holds a special place in my heart because Log Horizon has great writing, great story development, great character building, world building, all that good stuff. And it is the anime that made me drop Sword Art. I completely dropped Sword Art Online because of Log Horizon. Because in my head I was like, hey, if I'm gonna watch a fantasy anime, I'm gonna watch one that is, I'm gonna watch the best one. So I completely dropped Sword Art. I wasn't enjoying it where it was at anyway, so I just completely dropped it. Ace of Diamonds. And the reason Ace of Diamonds holds a special place in my heart is because baseball is my first love. My dad started teaching me how to play baseball when I was 3 years old. And when I was 6, he tried to get me into the 7-year-old team league, but I couldn't. And I tried to play, I wanted to play T-ball, but my dad was like, "No, you're not going to play T-ball. You're too good for that." He was like, "You would already hit curve balls. You would already hit, 40, 50 mile an hour balls." He was like, "No, you're not playing T-ball. It wouldn't be fair to the kids." So, my cousin Aaron, was on the team. We both were born in the same year, but his birthday is in March and mine is in August. So he got on the team, but the coach wouldn't let me play, because I wasn't old enough, but he would let me practice with the team. And he was like, "Yeah, next season, come play for me." And when I did, he benched his starting shortstop and put me in his spot. That's how good I was. Also, my whole Pee-wee batting season years, I was an 850 batting average. So I was really good. Then after that, another sports anime, Wanna Be the World's Strongest, which is a wrestling anime featuring all women cast where idols are trying to break into wrestling. And that junk was funny because the main character loses pretty much every damn match. Me and G Money would be cracking up laughing talking about this anime week to week. Noragami came out around this time. That was great and amazing. For those that love Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy is done by the same studio and artists and things of that nature. And that one was really good. It's a space comedy. And I love the fact that they had to play on words. Instead of having Hooters, they had a space bar called Boobies. So that junk was great and amazing. Defrag was pretty cool. Like I said, Hulu had all the monopoly on the Nobunaga. So they had Nobunaga Gun and they had Nobunaga the Fool, which also came out around the same time. And Hulu had a lock on both of those. No Game, No Life Hulu had that as well. One of my favorite anime is, you can see I got board games behind me. I got roughly just over 200 board games, and I love the aspect because the anime didn't feel like it was a what's the term I'm looking for? It didn't feel like it was one of those ones where it was like plot armor. The character was just good and just outsmarting people because he was smarter than them at the games with their own rules, and it was just so good. Love Blank, one of the greatest main character duos to me personally. Then you had Yokai Watch. Yokai Watch was great for me as well because my son was young around this time, so we watched Yokai Watch together, and that was another anime to the point where he loved it so much where he begged for me and his mother to get him the watch with the medallions for Christmas. So we went all out and got him the little voice activated Yokai Watch where you could slide the medallions in, and the medallion you slide in, it kind of does their introduction for that character. So that was his big thing. IQ came out around this time, which is a great sports anime. People loved that anime. It was cool for me. I didn't like it as much as everybody else did, but it was still a good anime. Chika Coffin Princess was great. I love the power system with that one. Wish they came out with more. I wish that anime did better. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tokyo Ghoul came out around this time, which was great when it first came out, but then as it grew, it's kind of like meh. But that first season was definitely iconic. Seven Deadly Sins. This holds a special place in my heart. For the simple fact, this is when I converted my younger brother, who was 10 around this time, from dub to sub. My mother asked me if I could watch him for the weekend. So I'm like, yeah, come on, bring him. So we watching anime. So I'm like, I just got to introduce him to this. So from the time my brother was 8 all the way up until now, me and him would have conversations on which was better between sub and dub. And I'm a sub guy and he was a dub kid. He dub. And I'm like, whatever. So he comes over and I'm like, okay, bro, this is what we're going to do. So we watched the first 5 episodes of Seven Deadly Sins in English. And then we watched that same 5 episodes in Japanese. Then when episode 6, I turned it to English, he was like, these voices suck. And I smiled. And I was like, and what did I tell you? He was like, yeah, you're right. The Japanese voices are better. And my brother hasn't looked back since. And he's 22 years old now. And that boy has not watched subbed. He haven't watched dub since, I should say. And so Seven Deadly Sins holds a special place in my heart. And granted, there are some dub that is good as the sub, but it's not a lot. And I don't feel like taking the time to sift through to figure it out. So I just sub the whole way through. Don't care. Parasite came out around this time. Another great to the death anime. Rage of Bahamut. I was a huge fan of this anime. My boy Favaro with the orange fro used to go crazy. Loved his character. He was a great main character, so that's why I fell in love with that anime. The main character was so good, and the story was pretty decent too. Laura's Marksman and the Vanities came out around this time, which was great. Terra from Mars, which was another anime that was great to me because I remember making a Facebook post because I read the manga in like 2010 or 2012. And I'm like, oh, golly, this is my new favorite character. Blah, blah, blah. I made a Facebook post. Golly, this is my new favorite character. This dude hard. I'm reading it, literally, flip the next page after making that post. He gets murked. Made another well, my favorite character died. Damn, less than 5 minutes. And everybody replied to that post laughing. And just the concept of terraform Mars and roaches. Roaches mutate and become giants. You got these automated humans with animal powers, and they fighting for territory on Mars. And that junk is just so cold to me. So I fell in love with that anime. It was just over the top ridiculous. The gore, the violence, just all of it was just over the top. So I'm like, yeah, this junk is great. Then you got Ghetto. Ghetto was pretty great. Assassination Classroom, which is another technically to the death anime, was good. Death Parade, which is another one which was great. still one of the greatest intros in anime, period. Overlord came out around this time, which people fell in love with that, and that's great. Prison Schools, which is hella ecchi. I watched it and was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch another season of this, but it was cool for what it was. It was a bit much for me. Gate came out around this time, which is pretty dope. Monster Musume came out around this time, which is another ecchi one. About a doctor who is a doctor for different monster girl types. And that one was over top, a little harem anime that was crazy. Rock of Brave 6 was cool. Gangsta was really dope. That was another one that came out on Hulu. Gangsta holds a special place in my heart for the simple fact that one of the main characters was deaf. My parents are deaf. Sign language is my first language, so whenever I see any type of main character that's deaf, whether we're talking about Boji, or I can't even think about the main character in the romance anime that I can't think of the name right now, that just came out last year. It'll come to me. And I'm just interested in Japanese sign language because it's so different from American sign language. So I watch it and try and see if I could pick up on stuff. So Gangsta was really, really dope. Was one of the ones where G Money told me like, yeah, this is a sentence. So it allowed me to understand the difference between shonen, shoujo, and sentence, which are, in my personal opinion, those are the top 3 categories, and everything kind of fall in between those. It's one more, but I'm not going to cover that, but everything falls in those main 3 categories. Then you have One Punch Man came out around this time, which is great. Gundam Wing Iron Blood Orphans came out around this time, which was amazing. Glad Gundam had went back to its more darker themes, so that was great. And then Comet Lucifer was pretty cool. It was a little fun world building anime, which was cool. But then we get to October of 2015. I was a part of a Facebook group called Geek Illuminati, and I was approached by 2 members of Geek Illuminati that I've had interaction with over the years by this time, which was Cliff the Chill Eagle and Bobo. So they reached out to me and was like, hey, we just acquired Geek Street Radio, and we wanted to know if you want to do an anime podcast for Geek Street Radio. That's something that we don't have. So I'm like, all right, cool. They have 6-7 other shows on Geek Street Radio. Some of them were weekly, some of them were bi-weekly, some of them were monthly. And I'm like, cool. And they was like, yeah, we want your anime podcast to be a weekly. So I'm like, okay, cool, we can do that. So first episode was done over Skype. Bobo recorded it, and I was like, he posted it. I listened back to it after he posted it, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, I don't like the quality of this. Quality isn't that great. So I hit him up afterwards. I'm like, hey Bobo, I'm like, listen, I got the setup and the equipment to record my own stuff. I will be recording my stuff, and then I'll send it to you for you to upload it. He was like, okay, cool, no problem. I was like, also, doing this solo is hard. I'm gonna have a co-host come in and we're gonna record together and do it that way. He's like, okay, cool, no problem. So I had already done podcasts before. In 2010, me and my cousin Chuck had a hip-hop podcast called the Come Up Pod. G Money would come on there and do our game segments. So we already had the chemistry from then, and just us talking anime and debating and things of that nature. I'm like, this is a guy that I can build this brand with. That'd be great. So I called him up. I'm like, yo, G, I'm doing this anime podcast called Planet Woo. I want to know if you wanted to jump in with me and kind of help me out with it. You can co-host it with me. And he was like, hell yeah, I miss doing the Come Up Pod, so hell yeah, I'm in. So I'm like, all right, bet. So that was the wheels that set that in motion. And then as we went on, we slowly started developing a sound. We would do some episodes where I would have them on speakerphone or over the phone, and I would record. And then we would do some episodes where we'd be sitting in the same room and we would record. But the quality was better that way than doing it over Skype. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And as we, next episode, as we keep going, we're going to talk about how we expanded the brand and what the thought process and the point of view that we wanted to do with the brand, as far as like the pillars that we stood on for the brand. And then outside of that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this is Cowboy from Planet Woo. I appreciate y'all for rocking with us and stopping by. And we will be signing off. Peace.